Carbohydrates. You hear that word thrown around constantly. But what are they really? Today, we're going to dive deep into the fuel that's hiding inside your food. We'll break down how carbs work and, more importantly, how to choose the right ones for your body. Okay, let's just get right into it because this is the big one, isn't it? We hear it all the time. Carbs are the enemy. You gotta cut them out. But then you hear the exact opposite. So what's the real story? Are they heroes, villains, or maybe, just maybe, they're deeply misunderstood? That's what we're here to figure out. So to get to the bottom of this whole friend or foe debate, we have to start at the very beginning. We're going to strip away all the hype and confusion and just look at what a carbohydrate actually is, right down to its chemical core. When you get right down to it, a carbohydrate is a pretty simple thing. It's just an organic compound made of three elements: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's it. You'll sometimes hear scientists call them saccharides, which is really just a fancier word for sugars. And their number one job in our bodies, you guessed it, providing energy. And this right here is the crucial point. They're not just a source of fuel. They are the body's preferred source. Your muscles, your organs, and especially your brain, they're all looking for carbs first to get the energy they need to get through the day. Think of them as the high-octane gasoline for your body's engine. All right, so if carbs are our main fuel, how are they actually built? The best way to think about it is like Legos. You start with the simplest, tiniest bricks, and from there you can build all sorts of complex structures. So let's meet these fundamental building blocks of energy.
That single, tiny Lego brick? In the world of carbs, that's called a monosaccharide. Mono means one, and saccharide means sugar. So literally a one sugar unit. It is the absolute simplest form, and everything else is built from these little guys. And we're about to meet the three most important ones right now.
First up, we've got the absolute superstar, glucose. This is the stuff that travels around in your bloodstream and gets delivered right to your cells. You can think of it as the universal currency of energy for your entire body. When people talk about blood sugar, what they're really talking about is glucose. Next up, we have fructose. And just like the name sounds, this is the sugar you find naturally in fruits. It's what gives that apple or that handful of berries its delicious sweetness. It's another one of those simple, single-block monosaccharides. And our third key player here is galactose. Now, this one's a little less famous, but it's super important. It's a critical part of lactose, which is the main sugar you find in milk and other dairy products. So there you have it, glucose, fructose, and galactose. Those are our three fundamental Lego bricks. Okay, so this is where it all clicks together. Literally, you start with one of those single blocks, a monosaccharide, and that's a simple sugar. Now, snap two of them together and you get a disaccharide. A great example is sucrose, which is just regular table sugar. But what happens when you start snapping hundreds or even thousands of them together? Well, then you get a polysaccharide, a long, complex chain, like the starch you'd find in a potato. It's amazing, right? It's all built from the same basic pieces, just arranged differently. Okay, so we know what carbs are, and we know how they're built. But now for the really important part. How does our body actually use all these different structures? It's time to take a look under the hood at your body's incredible fuel management system. This is a fantastic way to understand the two main types of those long-chain polysaccharides. On one side, you've got glycogen. Think of this as your body's personal, rechargeable battery pack. It's this highly branched chain of glucose that gets stored in your liver and muscles, all ready for a quick energy release. But on the other side, you have cellulose. This is the tough stuff that makes up the walls of plants. It's like their scaffolding. Its structure is different. It's straight and strong. And because of that, our bodies can't break it down for energy. We know it by another name: fiber. And when our body does break down those digestible carbs, like starches or that stored glycogen, how much energy do we actually get? Well, the answer is pretty simple and consistent. Every single gram of carbohydrate gives you about 4 kilocalories of energy. But here's the really cool part. Your body doesn't just let all that energy flood in at once. It has this incredibly smart system to manage it. So you eat some carbs, your blood sugar goes up. In response, a hormone called insulin acts like a key, unlocking your cells to let that glucose in for energy. Any extra glucose gets packed away as that glycogen battery for later. Then, if your blood sugar gets too low, another hormone, glucagon, tells your liver to release that stored energy. It's this perfect, delicate balancing act. So all of this brings us to the final, and let's be honest, the most practical part of our explainer. Now that we understand the science behind it all, how do we actually use this knowledge to make better choices about the food we eat? How do we choose our fuel wisely? Let's go all the way back to our original question. Are carbs good or bad? Well, as you can see, that's really the wrong way to look at it. The real question is about function. What's the job you need to do? Are you about to go for a sprint and need a quick burst of energy, or do you need slow, steady fuel to get you through a long afternoon? It's all about matching the fuel to the task at hand. And a really great tool for making these choices is something called the glycemic index, or GI for short. It's basically a scale that ranks foods with carbs based on how quickly they raise your blood sugar. So high GI foods like white bread or a sugary soda, they give you that super fast energy spike, but it's followed by a crash. That can leave you feeling tired and hungry again really quickly. But on the other end, you have low GI foods like beans, lentils, and most veggies. They get digested way more slowly, so they provide this gradual, sustained release of energy. That keeps you feeling fuller for longer and gives you a much more stable source of fuel.
So, if you take away one thing, let it be this. It all comes back to their structure. Those long, complex carbs we talked about, the ones full of fiber, they break down slowly, giving you that long-lasting, slow-burn energy. The simple, single-block sugars, they give you that immediate, fast burst. See, neither one is inherently bad, they just do totally different jobs.
And that leaves us with a final thought. Now that you know the difference between a quick jolt of energy and a slow-burning log for the fire, you can make a conscious choice. So the next time you sit down for a meal or grab a snack, just ask yourself, what kind of fuel am I choosing for my body right now?